The film begins in a futuristic society where the government has decided that only highly intelligent citizens are worthy of living within the country. To enforce this, the state implants an artificial embryo into every woman. These women are given the sole responsibility of raising their children to become top-performing students. If a child consistently achieves excellent academic results, both the child and the mother are rewarded with a luxurious apartment in a restricted residential complex. Mothers of such children are also honored with a glowing pin that represents their contribution to the nation. On the other hand, if a child fails to meet the required academic standards, both the child and the mother are forced to live in overcrowded slums known as the. A woman undergoes the embryo implantation procedure. After the process is completed, officials hand her a detailed guidebook that explains how to raise the child correctly. She is instructed to strictly follow every guideline to ensure success. Yang Chuan is introduced as the most celebrated mother in the state. She successfully raised the most exceptional student the nation has ever seen, her son, Ruojia. Sadly, Ruojia died in what was officially declared an accident several years ago. After his death, Chuan was implanted with a second embryo, from which her daughter Nova was born. In the present timeline, Chuan is attending a public ceremony where she is being praised for authoring a book that teaches mothers how to help their children excel academically. She is widely admired and considered the model parent. During the event, a woman from the audience asks Chuan what her secret is to raising A-grade children. The question catches Chuan off guard, and she remains silent. The host quickly intervenes, stating that the question is too personal and that Chuan is not required to answer it. The moment suggests that Chuan is concealing something important. Elsewhere, high-ranking government officials are having a discussion about a growing number of children being diagnosed with narcolepsy. These children are sent to advancement programs, where they are secretly executed after being labeled as defective embryos. A researcher named Ecien begins to notice a pattern. Every student diagnosed with sleep disorders has academic scores below the minimum requirement. He realizes that underperforming students are being deliberately misdiagnosed so the state can eliminate them. When Ecien confronts his superiors with this discovery, they accuse him of operating an underground resistance movement against the government. Shortly after, he is arrested. Meanwhile, Chuan and Nova are walking back to their apartment following the ceremony. Along the way, guards escort mothers and children with low academic scores to an unknown destination. Suddenly, a distressed woman runs toward them, screaming that the children are being taken away to be killed. Panic spreads through the crowd, and many people refuse to cooperate with the guards. Chaos erupts as people begin to flee. During the confusion, Chuan's scarf slips off and falls to the ground. Once the situation settles, Nova offers to wash the scarf while heading to the bathroom. Inside, she encounters Lingna, the mother of Ecien. Lingna recognizes Nova as Chuan's daughter, and seems aware of something troubling about Chuan, though she chooses not to reveal it. Instead, she gives Nova a keychain, claiming it is a gift from Nova's late older brother. Nova returns home confused and finds her mother watching the news on a large screen. The broadcast announces that Ecien was executed for opposing the state, and his mother has been stripped of her status as a top mother due to his actions. Nova recognizes Lingna as the woman she met earlier but decides not to tell her mother about the encounter. Later, Nova's tutor arrives to help her prepare for upcoming exams and teaches her about the earliest cloning procedures. Unlike her brother, Nova struggles academically and lacks discipline, which deeply worries Chuan. Chuan is determined for Nova to score an A+ at any cost. If Nova fails, they will lose their privileges, and Chuan's reputation as the best mother in the city will be destroyed. The tutor honestly tells Chuan that Nova's grades have been declining for years and that she is unlikely to pass the next exam. Suddenly, one of the lights on Chuan's glowing pin turns off. Chuan assumes it is a malfunction, but the tutor explains that each light goes out when a child's performance declines. Since her children had always excelled before, Chuan never noticed this feature. Embarrassed, she hides the pin beneath a scarf. Afterward, Chuan takes Nova to the pigeon cage to show her the harsh conditions endured by those with poor grades. She wants Nova to understand what awaits her if she fails. Deep down, Chuan knows she is not motivated by love for her daughter but by fear of losing her status and facing humiliation. The next day, while grocery shopping, Chuan tries to remove her pin, but it emits a loud alarm, forcing her to wear it at all times. She conceals it with her scarf, but another woman notices and asks if Nova is doing well academically. Chuan lies confidently, claiming Nova is improving. On her way home, Chuan witnesses a woman being evicted from the apartment complex because her son failed academically. The woman angrily blames her child for ruining their life of luxury. Disturbed, Chuan clutches her pin, realizing the same fate could await her. Later, she monitors Nova taking an exam through a tablet and sees her struggling. Soon after, a second light on the pin turns off, leaving only 3 remaining before she loses everything. At school, Nova begins acting unusually. She fidgets constantly, snaps at classmates, and insults her teacher, behavior that shocks everyone since she is usually polite. Concerned, Chuan takes her to the hospital, where Nova is diagnosed with ADHD. The doctor explains that academic pressure may have caused it, and warns Chuan that it could lead to depression if left unchecked. The following day, Nova accidentally bumps into her teacher while cleaning and refuses to apologize. The situation escalates until the teacher grabs her arm, prompting Nova to run away and threaten to jump from the building. She is ultimately stopped by her classmate, Qijing. Chuan brings Nova home and serves her dinner as if nothing happened. It is then revealed that Chuan instructed Nova to fake ADHD so they could avoid the upcoming exams. She praises Nova for acting convincingly. On Nova's birthday, Chuan demands that she destroy the gifts her classmates bring. Though reluctant, Nova is persuaded to carry a razor to school. However, when the moment arrives, she cannot hurt her friends and instead gently opens the presents. Later, Nova and Qijing discuss her strange behavior. He asks if her mother pressures her, but Nova denies it, insisting that her mother supports her. At home, Nova apologizes to Chuan and says she no longer wants to fake ADHD. She promises to study harder. That night, she shows her mother the keychain she received earlier. Chuan is visibly shaken but hides its meaning. A flashback reveals that the keychain was handmade by Rujia as a birthday gift for Chuan, but she dismissed it as a distraction from his studies. Back in the present, Nova studies relentlessly and stops pretending. One day, Lingna approaches her again and reveals the truth about the advancement program. She explains that children diagnosed with disorders are killed while their mothers retain their privileges. Chuan planned this to protect her status, even at the cost of Nova's life. Nova later learns that Rujia's death was not accidental. She confronts the truck driver, who admits Chuan manipulated him into taking the blame. Devastated, Nova turns to Qijing, who warns her that speaking of such things is illegal. When Chuan confronts Qijing, his mother defends him. After learning she will be sent to the advancement program, Nova escapes to Qijing's home and is taken to a secret camp run by Lingna. The camp shelters children who survive the program and allows them to pursue their passions freely. Although welcomed, Nova feels guilty and eventually leaves, returning home. Later, Nova collapses in the shower and wakes up in a hospital, where she is labeled a defective embryo and sent to be executed. The film ends with Chuan being implanted with another embryo. Lingna confronts her, accusing her of killing her own children, but Chuan insists she has one. She keeps her privileges, writes another book, and profits from her story. In a final flashback, Rujia reveals his dream of becoming a carpenter, a dream Chuan crushed. His depression ultimately led to his death. Chuan also reports Lingnao's camp to the authorities. In the final scene, Chuan promotes her book and coldly states that if someone truly wants something, there is always a way to make it happen. Your support means everything to us, so don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to stay connected.